Hello, welcome back to Trev Talks Tech. It's been a little while since my last video. I do have a full-time job as well, and there's been a lot going on. So thanks for your patience if you've been waiting for something new to come out. Yes, because there have obviously been hordes of people just wringing their hands, wondering when the next of my amazing videos is going to come out, of course. Well, I do have something a little bit special for you, and it's going to evolve over the next few videos, to be honest. What it is I've been waiting for probably about 6 weeks for the wonderful people at Anderton's to deliver to me 3 more Behringer modules, which are going to go on the modular synth here. And so what I'm going to do today is to unbox these. We're going to have a look at the contents, a little bit about them all. And we're also going to look at how I'm going to fit them into the remaining 56 horizontal pitch space I have left here. I've actually got a leeway here. I've got 2 more. I've got a little strip there representing that 2 more horizontal pitches as well. So I've got about 58 to play with. And the question is, and I've only done a rough calculation on this, so I'm not entirely sure, can I get everything to fit into here? Now I've got 3 modules that I've bought, and I'm going to unbox for you, and then I'm also going to be fitting those into here as well. And I keep on, bear with me, because I've got my phone camera. I don't need that running the whole time. So what have we got? We've got Skies. Now Skies is a granular synthesizer, a granular processor. It's an on-the-fly granular processor, so you can feed into it, and of course then what it will do is process and play out the results of that. Now I rather like the granular thing. I like all the amazing sort of sound effects that it gives you, which is why I've got the Tasty Chips GR1 here as well, and I've messed about with some other bits of granular. Obviously you've got some of that on the poly end equipment as well, so I do rather like that. And so Skies is the first of the modules that I have. I have also bought Waves, which is the function generating device, is it not? And more details of that as we go along. Kind of looking forward to opening up all of these. Now the reason it's taken 6 weeks, Anderton's, I will say, are very, very good. If I order something and it's in stock, it's normally with me the next day or the day after, depending on what time I've ordered it. They're extremely good at sending stuff out. In fact, I went from using a more local music shop to using Anderton's because they were just so good and reliable at doing this kind of thing. So well done, guys. Thank you very much. So that's Waves. And we've also got Halos. And the Halos is at another kind of synthesizer as well. So we've got 3 devices here. Now I'm quite excited about all of them. I'll freely admit, with my slight twinge of gear acquisition syndrome, that there was a bit of that in there. There's a bit of the old happy chemicals floating around, looking at going, oh, look, shiny thing, 3 shiny things. But, you know, isn't that the case for a lot of us? Isn't that what we love? Isn't that why people watch these kind of channels? It's one reason anyway. I certainly, speaking for myself, certainly is one reason why I love watching so many of the other channels, to look at what gear is coming around and what it's like, and oh, wouldn't I like to just mess about with that. But obviously there are certain financial and physical constraints about putting all that into my own studio setup, which is, I will hesitate to say complete with these 3 modules, but I certainly don't feel at this moment like I'm going to expand into other things. So at least not on the synthesis side. I'm not quite sure, you know, how I'm going to mess with other things and what other kind of videos I might produce. A lot of it is going to be able to think about sound design, about music, just about that kind of thing. Of course, what's it all for if it's not for producing music, if it's not for making sounds and doing interesting stuff with it? Who knows? Anyway, so there you go. So I'm going to unbox each one. Now I've got a nice little bit of space on top of my modular synth here, and I'm going to just be I'm going to record that separately on here as well. So I'm going to start with the halos. Now under here, in here, I have my trusty. This is my trusty nut alignment device. Sounds like it should be medical, doesn't it? But in fact, it's the thing that helps me put all of the Euro rack back nuts to the in the correct place. And so I've got that, and I've got my trusty multi-way screwdriver. And yes, this is an entire box. I've got an entire drawer here full of patch cables and one or two tools that I use here with the modular synth. So here we go with the halos. Just checking that's in the shot. There we go. And they all three of them come in one of these very nice little fold out boxes. They just got one piece of tape. There you go. And on the top of there it says, "There's a musician in every human being. If you find mine, let me know. Our purpose is to empower those who have not and cannot. Together we are music tribe. Uli Behringer." Bless you, Uli Behringer. I'm sure you have all of our best interests at heart. But yeah, let's say he does make some exceedingly good kit, doesn't he? In the end of the day, you may disagree. So got a little bit of plastic there, a little bit of paper, cardboard to take off, and yeah, out comes the entire module from the box. Let's just leave the platitudes of that box to one side for now. And here we have the Halos module. And now how do we get this out of the box from here? If you're shouting at the screen, do this, do that. Thank you. All thoughts greatly appreciated. There we go. So we've got a set of screws. I'm just, I don't know why, but I'm looking at this box and thinking, well, is there anything else about the cardboard in this box? Is there anything? There doesn't seem to be. I'm just opening it up to make sure that there's nothing in here. You know, like you do when you get a Christmas card from someone. Now, I was always taught as a kid, when you open the envelope for a Christmas card, what do? You always check inside the envelope before you throw it away. Make sure that you haven't missed anything, especially if it's your birthday money or Christmas money or something like that. Always check everything. And yeah, sure enough, not that I was really expecting to find anything else, but sure enough, it's just packaging from that point on. So all that is packaging. Just going to put that back in the box. Helps if you put everything back in the right order, I suppose, doesn't it? Now the interesting thing I should point out on here is you'll notice there is no user manual. There is no user manual included in the box. For what do we expect these days? Who prints user manuals anymore? Time was when you buy a TV set or a radio and there'd be a circuit diagram, let alone a user manual. There'd be a flipping circuit diagram in there. So if you wanted to go in and repair it, you had all the information you needed. Of course, a lot of things are far too specialist for that to be the case anymore. But I would like to see that. Bit of a rant there, but I would like to see more equipment giving you the means to replace it and giving you the circuit diagrams and stuff like that. Lots of IP around circuits, aren't there? Anyway, so there it is on the front of here. The there's a user manual QR code. So I've got to actually keep this box to one side and offload the user manual from there, which I will do on my phone in due course. My phone is holding up valiantly, and I hope all the other cameras are within battery range as well. So here we go, the Halos unit. Now I don't want to, obviously we can see that through the plastic here, but let's just get the plastic off. Let's get the plastic off the main module. Let's see it in all its unbridled glory, if we can. And I'll try very carefully not to touch the electronics. We all know that electronics are static sensitive. There is the little beast, and we can see there just how big that's going to be. Oh, I guess I should have put that plastic in the box as well. So we've got another cable and set of screws, and there is the size of the Halos module, and it's taking up that amount of room out of my available panel. So far so good. Now what we've got on the front, I will be doing a whole video about each of these individual modules and then how it actually goes together with everything else. But just for this one time, just to get you going, prime you a bit on the plans here, I wanted first of all to show you the just to show you the unboxing process. People love unboxing, don't they? I don't know why. But you're just getting it out of the box. But there's that whole engineering around that as well, isn't there? The whole process of taking something out of the box. Apple do it, Samsung do it. All, you know, I don't know who probably started it. I'm tempted to say Apple, but you know, how you design the actual packaging seems to matter a lot to people. So here we go. Now we've got the Waves unit, and again it's got the user manual sticker on the front, so that's presumably a different QR code to the one that's on the Halos manual. And let's open this up. I'm not expecting anything radically different packaging wise from what we had before, so sure enough, I've got the little Chinese warranty unit. Obviously it's also the hazardous chemicals assessment. Does it contain any lead, mercury, cadmium, chromium 6, and a couple of other organic compounds, PBB, PBDE, and yeah, I think lead is the only one actually that that's in here. Now there's incidentally, just out of interest, I mean, there's all this explanation of what the O's and X's mean on this table, but as the whole thing is printed entirely in Chinese, I haven't the faintest idea what that says. I'll have to subject it to some kind of translation program later. So there's that. Let's unbox let's take the module out. I'm not going to go searching inside the module cardboard this time. It's evident that there's nothing to see in there. So for all the size of this box, the actual box and the content, nothing in there. So what I'm left with is a Waves module. Of course, the OCD person in me is just really hoping that when I've got these all undone, that they will all neatly take up the space in here. I've actually got a funny feeling that far from exceeding the space available, I'm actually going to undercut it. Now that presents me with a different problem, because I don't think I'm going to have a module that is, or any kind of anything to fill in the gap, and I do like to have, I do very much like not to leave any gaps. I just feel like all the stuff's going to fall in there, and it's just going to be a pain, really, if I don't somehow fill in all the gaps. So I can't believe that part of my motivation for doing this was actually just to take out this panel here and put stuff in. I even bought some multiples so that I could align all of the sections here. You can see this, can't you? So that I could align the oscillator controllers and sequential switches and try and have some degree of alignment here. And the only thing that concerns me is that once I've finished putting stuff in here, I might be left with, well, if I have to take the little two horizontal pitch module out, that's going to leave me with something looking rather imbalanced here. Oops, just drop my screwdriver. Okay. All right, so there we go. There's Waves with its different sorts of functions, as we know from, if you look on some of Behringer's stuff, multiple presses of these buttons, like the Halos module, will cause different things to happen. And yes, so that looks awesome, and that's going to sit there. So we have 2 out of 3. The last one, and perhaps the one I'm the most excited about in many ways, is the Skies. Now, I've been playing around with the oscillators on here, and yes, they sound like you'd expect modular oscillators to sound, to all those nice nasally boingy sounds that you get from an analog synthesizer coming from it, among other things. But I must admit that without the benefit of some additional after effects, and I've been using the Alesis Nanoverb for this so far, that it all still feels a bit flat. I'm looking for something more atmospheric at times. It's not always what comes straight out of this unit. So, okay, that's this my intention, not least my hope with these new modules, is that they will provide some additional support for that without totally taking over that from everything else. I mean, I've got all these lovely filters and oscillators and things here, and these, I don't want to ignore all of that because I've got these new shiny modules that are very capable of doing a lot more than the individual oscillators, etc. here. I want it all to be part of a whole, although I must admit I'm still not sure how that might actually play out. So let's open up the last of these boxes. This is Skies. This is the granular processor. And well, I'm looking at this and thinking it's going to be another module of about the same horizontal pitch as the others. I think it's slightly wider in actual fact, looking at the size of looking at the sides here. Very slightly wider, but that might just be my perception. I think it might be. No, it does look physically wider, I will say. Let's get the bits out of the base. There we go. More screws, more ribbons. Everything else, of course, is the same. And yes, now a very quick check on this tells me that I'm going to be about 5 or 6 horizontal pitches short, I think, maybe a bit more. So what can I get? What else can I get that's going to take about maybe even as much as 8 horizontal pitches, but that I don't currently have. I'd like to complete the set somehow and see what's really left. I do have, by the way, a couple of plates back here in my drawer. I've got one small plate, which although it's small, it's actually too large to fill that gap. And I've got one large plate, which of course is the same as the one here, which I took out when I bought the additional sequencer and switch, use of which I've still yet to fully really explore. But this is a long-term project for me, so you'll excuse me if I don't do everything straight away. So here we go. This is the last module, and my Ace Pro battery is rapidly running down, so I'm just going to unbox this one. So right here in front of everybody. Oh. Well, I don't think you see now, but that one looks like it's had a little bit of a ding on the top. That fascia panel, well, it's just the printing or the powder coating or whatever they do to it. It looks to be a little bit scratched there. It's purely cosmetic, evident, you know, I want to say, so not overly concerned, but little things like that just make you think, don't they? So there we go. There's all the three modules together. So Skies is, you know, relatively large. It's, you know, it's noticeably larger than the other two. And has all these different granular modes to it. So we're going to be getting into all of these in the appropriate time in due course. My next job, of course, is to try and fit them in to here and get them all in, and I will see you very briefly on the other side once they're all in and I've decided how to manage the gap. All right, so till then, until then, I'll be getting on with this and you'll be straight back to me afterwards. Okay, take care.